Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Before we start here today, I do want to give a little shout out to the only dog I'm sure watches every episode here on ArtosisCasts. Happy birthday to Dirk Nibbler. Okay, let's get into this. We're going to be watching a Bisu here going up against Sue. I tell you seriously, Bisu plays so much ladder compared to a lot of the other top pros. I don't think anyone will get sick of it, though. Is there really a better Protoss to watch? I'm not entirely sure about that. Of course, Sue, the StarCraft 2 legend. You know, honestly, like, what Sue did was one of the most impressive things we've ever seen. I know that, you know, there's a lot of people who watch this channel and, you know, don't enjoy StarCraft 2 or don't really watch StarCraft 2 or maybe haven't watched StarCraft 2 a lot in the past. But this guy is so accomplished in StarCraft 2. He got 6 second places in a row in GSL. Like, obviously, it became a mental block for him. He was better than many of the players that he lost to, for sure. But yeah, for anyone who is a big-time StarCraft 2 fan, I wonder where you would rank Sue as far as strongest players ever in StarCraft 2, because that was like some prime years during StarCraft 2 as well. Like, honestly, I think the amount of second places he got is in many ways more impressive than championships nowadays. Anyways, all that aside, we're on Deja Vu here, and Sue is going to go for a hatchery first, but Bisu's probe going to find him pretty much immediately with his gateway expansion. So if I was Sue, I would be just slightly nervous about this. Bisu is probably, you know, Taste and I were talking about it in ASL, probably the best Zealot user that there is. It's not just like the micro or something, like a lot of players micro Zealots well, but the intelligence of what to do with them as well. It really feels to me like the strength of Bisu is in Corsairs and Zealots. He's just the best at those two things. And that, you know, that's gigantic. You know, that is a huge portion of PvZ. He just uses those units so well, never loses them cheaply or for free, and really maximizes his value out of both those units. And, you know, since those are, I guess, the first units that you really use against Zerg, that really makes a lot of sense as to why he is as good as he is. And in fact, now that I'm like saying this out loud, I'm kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, well, who else is a player kind of like this? And it's like, okay, well, who's the best with mutas and lings? Is it Sulky? I would say tactically, probably, yeah. Who's the best with like vultures? That's a good question. I think there's a few players. Maybe Sharp is really, really good with vultures. Speed is really, really good with vultures. You know, they're kind of more defined by the unit. The thing is, there's a lot of different ways you can use the vulture as well, aren't there? So anyways, I don't know. Just a little side thought I had there for a second. Oh my God, he actually got a drone. I wasn't expecting a drone kill. I'm sorry. Like, maybe I should expect a drone kill, but like, you know, I wasn't. So here we are. Anyways, we missed the drone kill, but he did get a drone kill there, which is really, really nice. And quite a few lings actually coming across the map right now, but he has returned 2 drones. So it'll be enough lings to probably just hold off any continuing attacks, at least for a little bit. Certainly we're going to see a photon cannon go down at some point here. The probe going out to scout here for Bisu does get chased around by a single Zergling here from Sue. These lings, of course, can't do a single thing. And did he get... No, he didn't get the Cybernex core before that photon cannon. So yeah, he will be getting that photon cannon. Pops the Zealot out to kind of push those lings back a little bit. You can see Sue is like kind of dancing around. He's trying to look if maybe there's some way he could slip a ling or 2 in, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case. As this cannon finishes up, we might see Bisu just walk out with the 4 Zealots, and, you know, that's something that you have to take really, really seriously here as Sue. So, yeah, the probe scouting is basically seeing everything that he needs to see, and, you know, looking back at Bisu's base, Cybernex core on the way, nothing too crazy going on. He does put this additional pylon down here. I think this is going to be for a gateway. You know, I've talked a lot of times about it. We don't see it that often, but occasionally if mutas hit really hard, you can make 2 Templars at your natural and gateways that are close together. Let me take this moment of kind of, well, right before the Zealots actually get up here. Sorry. I caught that drone, though. I caught that drone as the Zealots walk across the map ever so casually. The Zergling's going to come up, and Bisu's trying to take good surface area, and there you go. He does get some good surface area there. Takes a little bit more damage on that Zealot, but nothing past the shield lost yet. Well, I guess we won't really talk about that second gateway. We'll see. I'll keep an eye to see if he actually ends up making it there. But he does have the Citadel on the way. He does have that +1, of course, going, as well as the Stargate coming up. Just keeping these Zealots in a row behind. Macro Hatchery coming up here for Sue. So, look at this. He actually clogs one of the ways in and then has a 3-wide Zealot stance here. This is actually kind of crazy. Look at this. I'm serious. Like, he is the best with Zealots. You can see just how he's utilizing them here. Look at where he put this one. He brought it around the other side so it would have like this little angle it could still utilize. I can't believe how many Zerglings he's actually killed off here, and kills yet another one. Just absurd there from Bisu. It must be so frustrating as a Zerg player to play against Bisu Zealots. They just kill more than literally everyone else's. Now, the Corsair flying through. Spire is almost done. The Corsair will jump on that Overlord. I believe he does have time to pick that off and get home pretty safely. 4 Zealots out on the map. No +1 attack for them yet, so the Zerglings should be able to take them, but definitely some very good micro here from Bisu, as he is just dismantling these Speedlings. Oh my god! The Zealot King for sure. For sure. He's about to have another one pop out here as well. The double Corsair is going to start flying home. He did get a single Overlord. Scourge flying back, trying to stop him. Yeah, brings a single probe up here just to make sure that he can hold on easily. You can see he's actually bringing the extra probes. In case you get in there and target that probe down, the probe will die relatively quickly to the Lings. So good defensive play. Ooh, second Stargate coming up. Okay, so right now, you know, he's building up this Corsair count, and we do have the Carapace on the way. We don't actually see the Hydralisk Den, so this probably will end up being a Mutalisk build, which means that the Corsair, the 2 Stargate Corsair is obviously going to be a great play, and there is that second gateway. Again, I do like to point that out, right? Because if you have one here and then your second one is up here, getting the 2 High Templars to meet without the Mutas killing them is very hard. Here, though, it's very easy, because the Mutas, if they break you, it'll be in the main base almost every single time. There's just more cannons at the natural, because you have to have some at your front wall, and they'll get dragged into that a little bit. Anyways, all that aside, Bisu flies up with the Corsairs and actually loses a couple there. The thing is, he can trade them a little bit more aggressively just based off the fact that he has 2 Stargates, but that is a little bit of a pain. Maybe that gets Sue to actually make more Corsairs as well. I'm not entirely sure if that's part of this thought process, but actually loses another one. So he's lost 3 Corsairs so far. Now, there are a bunch of Mutas being made. There are a bunch of Scourge being made, but also the speed here for Hydralisk. Now, Bisu is actually doing very well with the Corsairs. There's no Scourge left. Like, I guess this is like another example of a different thing you can do with the 2 Stargate Corsair, where it's like, okay, yeah, he was a little bit wasteful and lost a lot of Corsairs, but he did kill Scourge, as well as obviously, you know, Scourge killed themselves into the Corsairs, but yeah, like he has actually gotten in there on top of those Overlords now at this point. He's killing all anti-air that Sue has. And, well, there are some more Scourge coming up. Now, well, that is not much anti-air. He has a Spore that he's made as well, but I don't think that's going to do very much. it feels to me like, okay, so Su actually has really good production here. He actually has a good drone count, although that's starting to fall a little bit. But Bisu is just kind of dismantling between the Zealot pressure as well as the Corsairs flying around. Like, Bisu definitely feels like he's in control of this game. Now, Su gets on top of these Zealots with those Zerglings, and of course they had +1, so it was a little bit tough. But the Corsairs continue to rotate around and get a lot of kills. I think he's done Corsair production, though, so he'll probably sit on these 7. 9 more Overlords on the way because he is supply blocked at this point. And, well, oh, that's some pretty good messing up of the AI. Creep Colony does get picked off. Wow, that's a lot more Zealots on the way. Oh, God. Well, he has 7 more Hydras, so... Oh, no. Okay, I think this game is pretty much over. Okay, this was a pretty one-sided one. Like, he's down to 54-54. Luckily, I guess luckily in quotations, Bisu's killing some of his units so he can make some more. But looking pretty bad. Bisu here with that additional Nexus off just 6 gates. Has some photon cannons up there already, continuing to rally over the Zealots. This is really pure mastery of this early portion of the game. You know, I feel a little prophetic for talking at the beginning about how he's just the master of Zealot Corsair and then having him rip Su apart with just those 2 units. I guess there is a single DT in here, but it doesn't have a kill, so we're not counting it. Does not have a single kill thus far. Oh, he's going to cast some storms, though. Well, still, you know, I think he could finish him without anything but Zealots and Corsairs at this point. And you can see how ineffectual a single Spore Colony sometimes can be in these situations. Where it's like, yeah, it is useful, it is good, but look at these Corsairs come in and just kind of ignore everything. Some great storms going down onto some of the Hydras, onto some of the drones as well. Even storms the incoming Scourge as well as the Hydras as they line up. And the Corsairs will kill just about everything. GG is called. That's some different levels to this game, man. Damn, that was strong play from Bisu. He really... I don't know. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. I guess I already asked a couple things. It's going to be a crazy comment section, I guess. But, like, seriously, I don't think anyone's better with those 2 units. As much as I like watching Mini play, I don't feel like that's where his strength is. Like, he'll come up with really good strategies, he'll control well and stuff, but, like, the way Bisu gets his value out of Zealots and Corsairs is second to none. Anyways, guys, sorry that one was a little bit one-sided for sure. But I do like to check up on Su and how he's doing. You know, and don't forget, he was a very strong player, in fact, on Bisu's team in SK Telecom in StarCraft 1. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.